Let's talk about something real. In a world that so often feels like it's trying to make us all replaceable, how do you actually become indispensable? It's a huge question, and it's right at the heart of Seth Godin's incredible book, Linchpin. And that's exactly what we're going to break down right now.
I mean, really, think about it. It's a feeling I bet most of us have had. You show up, you do good work, you follow all the rules, but you've got that little voice in the back of your head wondering, if I wasn't here tomorrow, would it even matter? Godin says that's not just a feeling, it's a trap, one we've actually been trained to accept. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. There are really two paths you can take. On the left, you've got the cog. It's safe, it's predictable, and it's totally replaceable. But on the right, you've got the linchpin. And this isn't about your job title, not at all. It's a totally different way of thinking. Linchpins don't just follow the map. When the world gets messy, they're the ones drawing a new one. Okay, so if being a linchpin is the goal, why do so many of us get stuck in that cog lane? Well, according to Godin, there are these two massive forces, one on the outside and one on the inside, that are constantly holding us back. So first, there's the outside force, this idea of societal brainwashing. Think about it. From the time we're in school, the whole system is built to teach us one thing. Success means coloring inside the lines and doing what you're told. But then there's the internal force. And honestly, it might be even stronger. It's our own lizard brain, that little ancient voice in your head that's just screaming at you to play it safe, to not stick your neck out, to avoid any kind of risk.
Let's really zoom in on this lizard brain for a second, because this is the source of what Godin calls the resistance. You know what I'm talking about? It's that sudden urge to check your phone right when you're about to start a really hard project. It's the voice that whispers you're not smart enough for this right before a big presentation. Its only job is to keep you average, because to the lizard brain, being different is dangerous. But here's a little secret. Just naming it, just saying, that's just my lizard brain talking, can actually take away a lot of its power. But here's the best part. We don't have to listen to that voice. We can actually learn to notice it, maybe even thank it for trying to keep us safe, and then just choose a different path. We can choose to be a linchpin. And this is what that choice is all about. See, a linchpin isn't just someone who works hard. They're more like a force of nature. When things get confusing and messy, they don't see chaos. They see a chance to create something new, to connect the right people, and to build a path forward where there wasn't one before. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, it's the person who doesn't just point out a problem, they show up with 3 possible solutions. It's the person who has real insight, and that's way different from just having information you could Google. It's about seeing the patterns behind the information. Linchpins feel fear just like everyone else, but they move forward anyway because their focus is on making things happen. Okay, this brings us to the absolute core of what a linchpin does every single day. Godin calls it creating art. And before you say, whoa, I can't even draw a stick figure, just hang on. This has nothing to do with painting or writing a symphony. This quote just cuts right through it all, doesn't it? If your job is just a simple transaction, you give your time, they give you money, and you're only ever doing exactly what someone else tells you to do, you're not an artist. You're owned. Real art needs you to have a personal stake in what happens. So it makes you wonder, right? In your own work, are you the artist or are you owned? So here's what art really means in this context. It's any work that's a generous human contribution. It's solving a customer's problem with genuine empathy. It's designing a new spreadsheet that makes your whole team's life easier. It's literally any time you pour a piece of yourself into your work, take a small risk, and do it without a perfect step-by-step instruction manual. Of course, the second you decide you're going to create this kind of art, guess who wakes up? Yep, that lizard brain. And it comes armed with its favorite weapon, a huge library of very, very convincing excuses. Oh man, do any of these sound a little familiar? I'm pretty sure I've heard every single one of these playing on a loop in my own head at some point. These are the greatest hits of the resistance. That voice of fear will give you 1,000 reasons why you should just keep your head down and stick to the plan. And the first step, the most important step, is just to recognize these excuses for what they are, the lizard brain trying to trick you into staying safe. So what's the antidote? What's the secret weapon against all this resistance? Godin has this simple, brilliant word for it: shipping. To ship just means to finish it, to launch it, to get your work out there even if you don't think it's perfect yet. That report you've been polishing for 3 weeks? Shipping means you send the email. The lizard brain loves endless planning and tweaking. Shipping is the one thing that defeats it. And this, right here, just nails the real battle we're all fighting. It's not that we aren't smart enough or creative enough. Most of us have plenty of good ideas. The real problem is that internal static, the resistance, that stops us from ever letting those ideas see the light of day.
All right, so we get the mindset, we've identified the enemy, and we have the antidote. Now, let's get into the super practical stuff. How do you actually build the skills to become a linchpin? Well, Godin lays out 7 specific abilities you need to work on. Let's break down these 7 abilities. Here it is. This is basically your roadmap. And notice the themes here, right? It's not just about having some unique talent. It's about shipping it consistently. It's not just about knowing a lot, but about being able to handle complexity and inspire the people around you. Look, this isn't a checklist you just finish once. It's a practice. So here's a challenge. Pick one of these to really focus on this week. Maybe it's number 7. Just be generous. Find one way to help someone without being asked. That's how you start building the habit.
I absolutely love this mindset shift because it's so freeing. We're always told to go find your passion, but Godin argues that's completely backward. A linchpin doesn't wait around for the perfect job to finally feel passionate. No, they bring passion and art to whatever job is right in front of them. It's something you apply, not something you discover. So instead of asking, what is my passion? A linchpin asks, how can I bring passion to this?
And let's land on this powerful, kind of mind-bending idea from Godin. In a world that is changing faster than ever, the so-called safe jobs, the ones where you just follow instructions, are actually the most dangerous jobs to have. They're the most fragile. By trying so hard to create a future that feels safe and predictable, we end up ignoring the future that's actually coming, and that makes us incredibly vulnerable. So, after all of this, it really just comes down to this one question. What art will you ship today? And look, it doesn't have to be some huge masterpiece. It could be as simple as finally sending that tough email. It could be sharing a new idea in a meeting, even if your voice shakes a little bit. What one generous, human, and maybe slightly risky thing will you choose to put out into the world today?